Hello students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to our online class of Islamic studies. We are going to do Surah al-Shams from your books unit, Quranic, Surahs and Beautiful Supplications. We will start off with recitation, then move towards translation, and after that we will do explanation. Uh, Through explanation, I'll try to explain you what Allah Ta'ala is trying to say to His creatures, us human beings or believers. After that, you will have to take your online quiz. I'm sure you are prepared. Let's start with Tribe of Samud and their ignorance, a short story. The tribe of Samud said that they would accept Hazrat Salih alayhi salam as a prophet if he asked Allah Almighty to send a camel through the mountains. This demand was fulfilled. Hazrat Salih alayhi salam made it clear that the she-camel should not be harmed in any way, as the wrath of Almighty would overtake him. However, a tribesman of the Samud killed it, and the whole tribe remained silent and did not chastise him, thus siding with him. As a result, they were all annihilated by the wrath of Almighty. Let's move toward the recitation of Surah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها.
Now translation. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. I swear by the sun and its brilliance, and the moon when it follows the sun, and the day when it shows, and the night when it draws a veil over it, and the heaven and him who made it, and the earth and him who extended it, and the soul and him who made it perfect. Then he inspired it to understand what is right and wrong for it. He will indeed be successful who purifies it, and he will indeed fail who corrupts it. To this truth gave the lie, in their overweening arrogance, the tribe of Samud. When the most unfortunate of them broke forth with, so Allah's apostle said to them, leave alone Allah's she-camel and give her to drink. But they called him a liar and slaughtered her. Therefore their Lord crushed them for their sin and leveled them with the ground, and he fears not its consequences. Let's move towards explanation of this surah and try to understand the meaning of this. The story I told you in start of this lecture is basically the background of the as the background of this surah. By the sun and his morning brightness, and by the earth and by the one who spread it out. An oath is generally an invocation of an object held to be sacred by that person. In the Quran, however, oaths are not meant to revealed the object invoked, but are used to draw out our intention to create truths. As mentioned earlier, they are an appeal to believe some important truth by the evidence of the object invoked. In this surah, the mode for establishing evidence is through contrast. Each sign is mentioned with its pair and opposite: the sun and the moon, the day and the night, the sky and the earth. The opposites complement each other and combine to fill Allah's design for His creation. In this, there is an overwhelming evidence of His oneness and man's accountability to Him. It says in Surah 51, Ayat 49, "And of everything we created pairs so that you may reflect. And by the soul, he is most surely ruined who corrupts it." The panorama of light and darkness in the physical world is matched by light and darkness in the human soul, reflected by the conflicting forces of good and evil. The perfection of the soul is achieved when, in this struggle of good and evil, man overcomes the ego to attain his full spiritual potential. The tribe of Samud denied the truth. Their Lord crushed them for their sin and leveled them. The brief reference to the story of Samud gives a glimpse of the conflict between the forces of good and evil throughout human history. It illustrates the divine law for the accountability of nations, which is that Allah always gives respite to a people, not punishing them until they have fully deserved His punishment. And He does not fear the consequences. In recounting the stories of past nations, one of the aims of the Quran is to dispel misconceptions created by distorted biblical narratives. It says in Guinness Book 6, when God saw the wickedness of man was great on earth, repented the Lord that He had made man on earth, and it grieved Him. Uh, that He does not regret anything that He ordains, because His knowledge is perfect and His wisdom is perfect. I hope I was able to make you understand the meaning of this surah, and it will help you memorizing it with translation. Let's move towards your quiz, which is from the topic the importance and excellence of supplication. Guys, you know the rules. Close your books, pause the video, and write the answers on a paper. When you are done, play the video again. Now that you have played the video, you must have taken your quiz, and I hope you got them good marks. But if you have not, or if your marks are less than 7, learn this topic again and take a quiz. Your homework for today is to memorize Surah Shams with translation. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Allah Hafiz.